Dubai-headquartered airline Emirates is one of the international airlines that's resumed flights from South Africa's airport tarmacs on the 6th of August this year. This was after a long 6-month hiatus due to the COVID-19 lockdown restrictions. The airline has resumed 14 weekly flights in and out of Johannesburg, with some flights to Durban and Cape Town. So what has the airline learned from the pandemic?
The importance of being agile, importance to be able to adapt to changes, and also able to understand the customer demand, changing demand on a fast-paced way, so that you can quickly, reorganize yourself.
Meanwhile, Emirates says there's been a steady demand for its services, but it's a slow process given that the global economy is not fully opened yet and some countries still consider South Africa to be a high-risk country. In the meantime, it's priming the South African market for better days to come.
It is quite important that we also position South Africa as a destination, because one element is taking passengers from South Africa to our network. Emirates opened up over 120 destinations, which is probably 90% closer to what it was pre-pandemic. So taking passengers to network and traveling to these destinations that we opened up, and at the same time we're working very closely with Tourism Board South Africa to be looking at possibilities of bringing passengers into South Africa. So that is one aspect of our business which we're looking at to partnership with South African Tourism Board and strengthen our relationship with them, so to be able to present South Africa in a brighter limelight.
As with all airlines and in line with international regulations, Emirates says that travellers need to have a 72-hour PCR COVID test on hand in order to be admitted on their planes.
First and foremost, you can expect the same signature experience with Emirates like you had before, with customers' blankets, mattresses and duvets being hygienically wrapped, and also we offer masks, hand sanitizers and wipes on customers' demand.
The impact of the pandemic has been wide-ranging, with airport operations severely curtailed around the world. OR Tambo International is the largest and busiest airport in the country and it's been particularly hard hit.
We have seen most of our businesses at the airport here, they have closed down due to the hard lockdown in 2020, and we only opened our airports back in June of 2020, if you recall. So, and that recovery has been very slow over time. We only now seeing some exciting news with international airlines coming back in the month of August, starting to take South Africans into international destinations.
With many airport counters and shops shut in the interim, AXA has had to take some drastic steps in order to remain sustainable.
We've just went through a robust cost-cutting exercise where we went through voluntary retrenchments as well as early retirements that we offered our employees, and that was done purely because we had to cope with the impact of COVID-19, because our revenues has slumped, as well as we had to make sure that we also manage our costs.
AXA says that it does its best not to fall back onto National Treasury for assistance, as has become commonplace for state-owned enterprises. But if the growth trajectory proves slower than hoped and COVID disruptions keep coming up, it has warned the government that it may have to approach it cap in hand. The global vaccination drive is the one sure thing that will aid getting more bums on the seats of aircraft. But of course, in some regions of the world, this process is taking longer than many would hope, thereby delaying the recovery in the global aviation sector. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.